Welcome, here I've got Motorola Moto G10 and I'm gonna show you how to use the camera promote at this device. So at first we have to tap on the camera button to open it, and for now we are in the standard photo mode. Let's change it by using this settings bar and just simply going to the right. Here we have access to other modes of this camera, and in the photo category we have the promote, so let's pick it. And here we are. This mode gives us possibilities to choose some shooting parameters by ourselves. This is useful when we want to learn photographic skills or making experiments with photography. So let me start with this settings bar. Let's go from the right. The first one button here allows us to control the exposure compensation, so the light of our picture. As you can see, we get access to this slider. By going to the right on it, we can make our photo more bright. By going to the left, we can make it more dark. At the center we have 0 parameters, so there's no problem to go back to auto exposure compensation. Now let's move to the next one button, the ISO. Here we can control the camera's sensitivity to light. By using this slider, we can make it less sensitive from 100, and by going to the right on it, we can make it more sensitive to 3 and 2000. So I think this is really wide spectrum, like this kind of camera. And of course, when we slide to the beginning of it, we can go back to auto ISO easily. Now let's move to the next one button. Here we can manage the time of taking picture, the shutter speed, and also by using this slider we can manage it. We can pick the time from 1 and 6,000 of second, so this is the shortest here, and this should be definitely better to objects that are, for example, in move, to frozen them at the picture with a good light. By going to the right on this slider, we can make our time much longer. The longest here is the 32 seconds, so this should be definitely to objects that are stable. And of course, at the beginning of it, we have the auto settings, so we can easily go back to the auto shutter speed. Now let me show you one extra thing connected with these 3 sliders. So when we adjust the shutter speed manually and the ISO manually, the exposure compensation is not working. As you can see now, nothing happens when I use this, because these 2 buttons together allow us to control the exposure compensation, the light of the picture, so we don't need to use that. So remember about it. If you want to use this one, you don't have to use these 2. But if you want to use the shutter speed and the ISO, the exposure compensation is not necessary. So as you can see, when we adjust it correctly, we can manage the light. And now let's move to this button, the white balance. Here we can adjust the temperature of our picture, and it depends from the light we have in the area where we take a photo. We have these small icons here on the slider that suggest us which light is good for which conditions. So when we move the slider, at the first place we have the tungsten light, then white fluorescent light, and the daylight, and at the last one, the cloudy light. So as you can see, this is kind of balance between the blue and the orange light. We can make our photo more cold by going to the left, or more warm by going to the right. And at the center, not at the center, from the left, of course, we have the auto settings, so we can easily go back to the auto white balance here. And now let's move to the last one button. Here we have the focusing. Now we are on AF from the autofocus. By using this slider, we can change it to MF, the manual, and now we can use it like that. And to go back to the autofocus, we have to just slide to the left to the beginning of the slider. But now let's adjust the settings manually, because I want to show you one extra thing. When we close this, we get one extra button appearing here from the right, and so for now, when we tap here, all of this goes back to the auto, so we don't have to separately adjust the settings to the beginnings of the sliders. We can just use this button here, and all of this goes back to the auto settings. And now let me tap on this button above the shutter, so we can open more options about the camera we can manage. Most of them is also in the standard photo mode, but in the Pro, at the last position we have the format. So this is really pro feature here. We are on the JPEG. We can also pick the RAW format. So here we can change the format of saving our picture, and we can also pick the RAW plus JPEG. So the RAW format is used by professional photographers to taking pictures with more details and post-producing them in graphic programs. Now let's stay on the JPEG and let me use these settings to take a picture. So maybe the white balance here, the shutter speed here, and the ISO here. And as I said, the exposure compensation is not working because I've adjusted these two parameters. And to see the photo, let's move to the right to this button. Here we get quick access to the gallery. So this is how it looks like. And that's all. Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel and leave the thumbs up.